Hey fucks, today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna be giving you a contemporary album review! Yeah, there's a fourth time for everything, folks. And to what album do I owe this momentous occasion to? Well, it's none other than Greta Van Opeth's latest effort, Epigone. And, wow, this album, man. What else can I say about it? I mean, seriously, I'm at a loss for words. What else can I say about this album other than it's a prog metal album? It is a virtuosic, atmospheric display of skill with entrancing, crystal clear vocals and sweeping guitar melodies that display exceptional skills. It is, in fact, a prog metal album. With soaring keyboards and complex drumming that changes time signatures at will, it is a prog metal album. With exceptional musicianship, long drawn-out compositions, and the inability to write a single memorable hook on the entire album, it is a prog metal album. Okay, before we go any further, I just want to preface this right now. I am not a prog fan. There are some exceptions, of course, but for the most part, progressive music to me is just a bunch of boring, meandering, showy, masturbatory bullshit. In a way, I'm actually glad Wilderun made this album because it is such a perfect example of everything I can't stand about prog music. But before I get to that, let's talk about some good stuff. There's a lot of great technical skill on display from everyone here. The instrumentation is incredibly strong as each member puts on an absolute clinic showing off their technical skills. Evan Barry puts on a great vocal performance as his cleans are very beautiful and his gutturals are very brutal, and the band shows off an entire encyclopedia of influences on this album, including symphonic metal, folk metal, progressive metal, black metal, death metal, doom metal, post-thrash pre-glam metal, and everything in between. The production is crispy as fuck and everything is well mixed. The loud parts don't get too loud, the quiet parts don't get too quiet, and everything sounds crystal clear. Unfortunately, that is where my praise for this album ends, as all of this great production, great musicianship, and great ability to play different genres all amounts to a boring, forgettable, disjointed slog. I've listened to this album 3 fucking times in preparation for this review, and I still have a hard time remembering anything about it. Every song feels interchangeable. In fact, there were multiple times when I was listening to this that I had to check my Spotify to see if I was still on the same song. Wool Gatherer is the guiltiest party in that regard. This song is 14 fucking minutes long, and it doesn't even need to be half of that. This song could have ended at 3 separate points during the track, and nothing would have been lost. In fact, there was a part around the 13-minute mark where I actually thought the song was over, and then it started playing more acoustic bullshit for some fucking reason. You didn't need to do that. And after that song, it gives you 2 more pieces of overlong, forgettable prog drivel, and then the album gives you the Distraction quadrilogy, I believe. And while the pace of the album does pick up a little bit during the second half, it still amounts to a bunch of forgettable crap. Now, I do want to point out that I did enjoy the Distraction section of the album upon first listen, but 2 hours after that first listen, I couldn't remember a fucking thing about that whole section, much less the album. Like I said, this album is everything I can't stand about prog metal. Way too much focus on skill, zero focus on songs. This is much less an album full of songs, and more of an album equivalent of a pretentious, ego-stroking instructional video. You know the ones I'm talking about, you know, the ones where they have these hotshot guitar players or drummers show up in front of a camera to teach you a couple of basic techniques, but they don't actually teach you anything and instead just start showing off on their fucking instruments. That's what this album is to me. I know a lot of people like this album, and you know what? More power to you. But for me, I find it to be a boring, overly long, forgettable prog metal album that's interchangeable with a million other prog metal albums. Now, as much as I'm hoping for the comments on this video to be reasonable, I know that expecting people on the internet to be mature when someone has a differing opinion from them is, well, it's like hoping for the exact opposite of reality to happen. So, to save all you angry commenters some time, I'll write out your angry comments for you. LOL. Why should we take the opinion of the same guy who ranked BT Bam at number 6 seriously? You have no idea what you're talking about. Get back in your garbage can where you belong. I'm just here because you bashed Ice 9 kills. Fuck you, I hope you die for disrespecting You say you have a few exceptions when it comes to prog and you show Rush and Opeth, the two most generic prog bands ever. Fuck you. Kill yourself. Why the fuck does a piece of shit like you get to work with Forge Master, Metal Meltdown, Quest for Metal, and Metal Trenches when you don't know a thing about music? This is the best album of the fucking year, and you just exposed yourself as a pseudo-intellectual dickhead for not liking it. Stick to reviewing shitty Terminator movies. Your opinion means nothing because you think Metallica didn't sell out. I'm just here because you did that Led Zeppelin video with the Metal Meltdown, and I want to say fuck you. You lost all credibility when you worked with that asshole. Unsub. How dare you call Wilderun Greta Van Opeth? Just because they take a lot of influences from Opeth, the same way Greta Van Fleet takes influence from fuck. Why aren't you reviewing Under Oath right now? You told me in person you liked it. Why don't you review it? Is it because you don't think it's a 10/10 masterpiece? Is that it? Well, fuck you. If you think that, you fucking poser, go die. And last but not least, wow. What a great nuanced opinion from the same moron who ranked Sumo Psycho ahead of Bam. Go back to simping for Sky Sweet Nam, you fucking incel. And there you go, I typed out all those hate comments for you so you don't have to do it. You're welcome. And that's my review. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I don't really give a fuck either way. Bye, fucks.
Blinded by David Boreanaz fanboys. Also known as Eric. He's the only one.
I'm the president and CEO of the fan club. David won't accept my calls.
As David Boreanaz once said to you.
Get off my lawn, you fucking freak.
I was going to say, who are you and why are you going through my garbage?
Gonna start a fake Tinder account. Call it David Boreanaz. Have his picture with a Photoshop mustache. And in the description it'll say, people tell me I look like David Boreanaz, but I don't see it. See how many girls will fall for it.